Right, let's get into it. Today's guest co-host is the founder and the CEO of Passionpreneur Publishing, which has helped over 140 leaders become best-selling authors. He himself is a best-selling author of 3 books as well. It's a warm welcome to Moustafa Hamwi. Moustafa, great to have you join us.
Thank you for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to this one. Why? Because, I mean, you've been there, done that, you've been through the process, you've opened up about that process to others and helped them publish their own books. And you've got this sort of methodology that you think can be put into place. The idea that you go for a paper napkin, because we've all got a great idea on a paper napkin, haven't we?
Everybody does.
Turn that into a paperback.
Wake up in the morning and
as
nothing
well.
there.
But genuinely, before we get onto the methodology, is there a book in all of us or not?
I mean, the tagline I like to use is you have a message to share, the world is waiting for your book. So is there a book in all of us? I think everybody's got a book. Everybody's got a story to tell and a message to share and a legacy to build. It's just a matter of getting it out of your head into paper is the challenging part, especially in the digital age.
And let's do the paper napkin too. Let's get into the methodology as well, because I suppose one thing that holds people back is time frames as well. What I love about yours, you know, you're looking between 3 and 6 months. Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, being not a native English speaker, and here's something interesting, I hate reading and I hate writing. And I became one of the best publishers in the world. That's because I wanted to figure out a process and a system that can optimize the process and make it efficient for anybody. I'm an author, but I'm not a writer, and those are 2 different things. Not everybody has the writing skills, but everybody's got the ideas of being an authority on their topic.
And Moustafa, I'm very curious because personally I've been wanting to write a book. I love writing. I started at 16 with a novel, a romantic historical novel, but I stopped doing it. So I want to ask, why should people start writing a book or attempting to write a book?
Very good question. I'd like to start by debunking some myth. A lot of people think you're going to write a book and make a lot of money from selling books. Statistically speaking, over 90%, I'm not going to say 99% to exaggerate, but over 90% of people who sell books never make enough money from selling the book. So you should never start with, oh, I want to make money from selling a book. For me, the primary purpose for writing a book is spreading your message, building a legacy, and having an impact on the world through written word. That's really the #1 reason. Other reasons possibly would be building a business around it. So the word authority comes from author. So if you write a book on a topic, you get known as the authority on the topic. So if you've got enough knowledge and expertise, get it out of your head into a book. So that's another reason to write and publish a book.
And that's very exciting. That's exactly it. How do you know if you are an authority for that subject, or the reasons for you
Very
to
good
say
question.
bringing my experience into a book?
So look, through my journey to publish 140 authors, I probably spoke to about 1,400 people to go down to 10%. And the truth is the following is, for someone, you might not be superstar, but for someone else, you're a dream. So it depends where you're sitting in there. So are you an authority? Yes, you are an authority on your topic, depending on where you are in the journey and who's the person that's going to receive that message from you. So really, you just got to understand, as long as you're a few steps ahead of someone else, being honest about your journey, being vulnerable, and sharing what you know in a structured manner, that's going to be valuable.
Moustafa, I see myself as both a dreamer and a procrastinator.
Aren't we all?
How do I get over the procrastination of reading and understanding that I can be something better? I could be a superstar.
Look, I think everybody's got that message in them, and when you tune into the why, the first thing is always start with that big purpose. What's the reason behind you writing a book? Because if it's about you, you'll always push it back because it's never going to be good enough. That becomes about us, about the ego, about what's in it for me. But once you start, can I be of service to someone else? I don't think anybody wants to delay being of service to someone else. So that would be the biggest step. And then the other reason, there are a lot of, I call excuses. People come up with all these reasons. They say, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have enough knowledge, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes. We all say tomorrow, and then tomorrow never happens, something else happens. So just get over that and get on with it, I'd say. Even if you don't have a structure, you just got to take a first step and then it just moves on. And then if you say, I don't have time, I'll tell you, the average profile of one of our authors is somebody who's at the last quarter of their corporate career, married with 2 kids. A lot of them have PhDs and master degrees. If they can find time to write and publish a book, I'm sure any of us can find time to write and publish a book.
What's your sort of statement? A lot of people, you hear from a lot of authors, and a lot of authors write in different ways. Some like music, some like silence, sometimes work morning, sometimes work nights, etc. In terms of the structure that you're talking about, the sort of the skeleton of that manuscript, beginning, middle and end, is that essential, or again, is that something that comes with the process?
I like how you break it down. I use kind of a 1, 2, 3 approach, but in a different manner. Right. I tried this advice of wake up and write a page a day. Yeah, but by the end of a year, you'll have 52 random pages that have no coherent story. That's what happened to me. I just write, and then it's just fine, that's a good idea to get stuff out of your head, but teaching is about structured knowledge. You say knowledge is power. No, it's structured knowledge is power, because I can give you a lot of knowledge. Today, internet can give you everything. It's just having it in a structured manner. So the way I like to go is 30,000 feet, 15,000 feet, and then on the ground. 30,000 feet is what I call the strategy, the behind the book. You got to answer the basic questions, the why, the what, the how, the who. So why am I writing the book? Who am I writing it for? Because even if I'm writing the same book, for the two of you differently would be totally different book, because you have different backgrounds, different cultures, different aspirations. So you got to answer these pictures that show you the North Star, the guiding journey of where you're going. Once you do that, you move to the 15,000 feet, which is what I call blueprinting. That's the methodology we have. It's like blueprinting a building. Imagine going on with building Burj Khalifa, just going like, oh, let's just build it. You got to really know where you're heading and what you're doing. So you do a skeleton without content. You just answer the same questions, but just on a smaller level. This chapter specifically, what am I trying to convey in this chapter? What am I trying to convey in that chapter? What's the call to action at each chapter, and so on. And then once you have that, you put skin on the bone, and then you start filling up the content, whether that's writing or recording, it doesn't matter. Most people skip the first two and get on with the last bit, and they never finish, because they just have an unfinished art project. I like structure, I like process, I like flow.
You just meant like his book will be fascinating. I've known this man for a very long time, and his book will be absolutely
I don't
fascinating.
think anyone will publish it, that's for sure. Too many legalities.
But that's the thing, when you have that, when you've already written all that, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of research that goes into it, meeting, interviews, you know, you yourself have to go and delve deeper. But when you have that manuscript, where do you take it next, or who do you share it with?
So I want to comment a small thing about there will be research and so on. I'd have to say in most of the cases, no. Most of the people that come to us have been doing what they've been doing for 10 years. So are you able to summarize what you've learned in the last 12 months in an hour? So if you do 10 years, give me 10 hours of summaries, that's 10 chapters. That's a lot more. You don't need to research. The challenge we find with most people, they have a little bit too much content, and our job is just to trim it down. So once you've got that manuscript, you got to ask yourself, how do I want to get that to the world? And there's a few things you can do to get it to the world. You can self-publish, as simple as just go on Amazon, upload a manuscript, and it'll be there. I'd say that's something like, I don't know, you just like ready furniture, you just buy and assemble yourself. Or you can go to a traditional publisher. That's the age-old story where you go knocking doors and giving manuscripts, and a publisher says yes or no, and so on. And there's what we do, which is what's called independent publishing. So you come to us, you pay us some money to help you with the writing and the publishing, but you still own your copyrights. Each of those three has pros and cons, whether it's the cost, the copyrights, or the go-to-market speed. But the bottom line is just get on with it, and then along the way you'll figure. By the way, I've got 3 of my own books, and one that was co-authored. My first co-authored book, the publishing experience was a disaster. And that's what led me to open a publishing business, because I realized there was nobody catering to that niche. So it doesn't matter if you get it right the first time, just get on with it.
Just a very quick one. We're out of time, need to move on, but just very quickly, just in line with the theme of the show for us today, can you write if you don't read?
You don't read consistently?
Yeah.
Very good question. I told you I hate reading and I hate writing. So, do you have enough knowledge? You see, the reality is, do you consume? Because although I hate reading and I hate writing, I binge on documentaries, I binge on audiobooks, I binge on content. So my mind is hungry and learning. It's just that I assimilate learning differently. So can you produce learnings without enough learning? I don't think so, because then you'll be making up stuff, which I think we see a lot on social media today. Anybody with a camera just gets on social media and starts talking. So you're doing yourself and people disservice, because if I'm here to help somebody, I won't pretend that I'm a doctor if I haven't studied enough. So don't talk about something you don't understand. Tap into what you already know, and make sure you're really sharing with genuinity, and then you'll be of service.
Love it.
So glad you're our guest co-host. You've inspired me just in this short time. By the end of it, I'm sure I'm going to be a novelist. Stick around.